everyone, time now for another Willies Ramblings and Pickup video. Been a while since I made one of these. I think I made one back on the 17th or 18th, I can't remember. But not really been anywhere per se. I have been traveling but not been finding hardly anything. But I do have a few pickups that I picked up over the past week or so. So we'll talk about those here pretty soon. But first, the new ColecoVisions podcast episode is out. This is episode number 13. And we talk about Carnival and we also talk about Antarctic Adventure. There's an interview on there with Mr. Todd Spangler from Park Fun Games about his new ColecoVision game, the Light Cycles, which is coming along really nice. It's a blast to play. We also talked to Mr. Brett Weiss, who's a author of all kinds of video game books and all kinds of cool stuff. He's a really nice guy to talk to. So there'll be links to all these things I'm talking about down below in the show notes. But other than that, also I've released Atari Visions Episode 2, which is Beam Rider. That's available on iTunes now. We recorded episode number 3 this past weekend, which is going to be covering the game Carnival. And spoiler alert, Rick does not like Carnival at all, especially on the television, because Coleco, they did a pretty bad job programming that game on the Coleco. When you listen to the podcast, you'll see what we mean, because it's not good. But other than that, also remember that the Atari Visions podcast is not family friendly. It is an adult themed podcast, so keep that in mind. Also, over on the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, hosted by Ferg, I'm going to be running a little contest for them. Basically, the prize is going to be an Atari Flashback 5, complete in the box. And the way the contest will work is I want to make a recording that describes all of this and a master post on his Facebook page, describing the contest and everything, so people know how to participate. But in a nutshell, what it is it's based on the old Sword Quest games on the Atari 2600. Remember, we had Sword Quest Earth World, Sword Quest Fire World, and Sword Quest Water World. And with those games came this neat little comic book. And well, you can find these comic books online to refer to now. They're over on Atari Age/comics, and you'll find all the Sword Quest comics there. They're really neat to look at. Pretty cool. I need to find some of those for my collection. I don't have any of those little comic books. But anyway, the way the contest is going to work is I'm going to do an audio clip where I'll do like a Dungeon Master kind of theme or something like that. And I will read off 3 different sets of numbers. Just like on the Sword Quest games, when you would do certain tasks, you'd see a number appear on the screen telling you to go to that page of the comic book and what panel and see if you can find the word hidden in the comic book. It's going to be that kind of thing. So there's going to be 4 sets of those numbers in each episode. There's going to be 3 episodes. So there's going to be a total of 12 numbers that you'll need to get a hold of. When you go to the respective comic books for each particular episode, because they're going to be themed, the first one's going to be Earth World, and then the next episode will be Fire World, and the last one will be Water World. So you just keep track of those separately. And then the words you get from all those panels, those numbers, you try to build a phrase. And the first person that can guess what the phrase I'm thinking of is out of all those words wins the Atari Flashback 5. I've already been talking to Ferg about this. He knows about it. He also knows what the answer is. So he can verify, yeah, that was the correct answer that I was thinking of. So I want to make sure there was 2 people that knew the answers to verify it. But anyway, that's going to be happening real soon. I got to make some of the audio clips for him and send them over and submit it to him. So what else? What else is there? Oh, the Channel F Files. I'm getting ready to record episode number 8 with my co-host Scott. We're going to be talking about magic numbers and NIM. Basically, magic numbers is kind of like the old game Mastermind, where you try to guess the number the computer's thinking. Gives you clues. And Nim, I'm not 100% sure how Nim is played. I got to do some research on that. I know what it is. I have no idea how to play it. I got to think about that one. Do that one tomorrow. We're also working on getting an interview set up with Mr. Ron Smith, who is one of the people on the design team for the Channel F with Nick Telsfor and Jerry Lawson. So I never did get a chance to meet Jerry. I wish I could have, but I have talked to Nick. We have an interview with Nick on a previous episode. Be nice to get a hold of Ron and talk to him so we get some of these guys that were behind the scenes of the Channel F that's not really been documented anywhere else. It's kind of like a little project of mine with the Channel F because it was my first home console. They had interchangeable cartridges in it. I remember my dad buying it, and we had a bunch of games for it. I had the complete set that I don't know what happened to them. I lost them in the move. I'm not too happy about it either because I had everything. But anyway, that's going to be coming up here pretty soon, an episode of that. Also, for the Atari Visions, Chris Bedwell was putting on a competition this weekend. It's called Hexadecathlon. He does this pretty much every year. He does up in Columbus, Ohio for the Columbus Retro League. And I decided I was going, but work thought otherwise, and I got diverted to go someplace else. I wasn't able to drive up there because it's like a 9-hour drive for me. I really wanted to go though. But I decided, well, I was going to take a prize up there with me, so I went ahead and contacted Chris and said, hey, here's a prize I was going to bring. Please go ahead and use it. Just let me know who the winner is, and I'll mail the prize to them. And it was a complete in box Intellivision flashback. So whoever wins the competition, the tournament for Stafu, up there at his event, wins that Intellivision flashback, complete in the box. So something neat to do, something fun. I wanted to do it just to celebrate the start of the Atari Visions podcast. One of my co-hosts, Ferg, from the Atari 2600 Game by Game podcast, was actually up there. So he's the point man, to keep all this coordinated. So sorry, Ferg. Anyway, that's pretty much it on that front. This coming week, I'm making some more trips for business. I've found a couple new game stores that I'm wanting to visit, so I'm hoping to be able to report on those here pretty soon. I'm also going to try to stop by another arcade here pretty soon to do a interview. I'm trying to get that coordinated. I've also found a Hercules pinball game, and I've been wanting to do a video on one of those since the beginning of my Arcade USA channel. I finally found one. It's only 3 hours away from me, so I'm going to try to contact the owner, make arrangements, and go take a video of that pinball game so I can do a little Arcade USA mini-sode on it. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get to the pickups. Before I get to the main pickups, though, I know I made a video of this earlier, but some people don't watch my Coleco videos. But I want to make people aware of this really neat battery cover. Now, I bought this one off of eBay, but the same guy who sells this on eBay has his own website where you can order these in different colors as well. I like the black one because it's kind of like the original. But this is the battery cover for a Coleco tabletop arcade. Remember the Pac-Man, Miss Pac-Man, Galaxian, that kind of stuff. So what's nice is, say you got a Pac-Man or one of these other Coleco tabletops, and a lot of times you find these things at the flea market, they're missing the battery cover. And we all know the batteries will not stay in there on their own. If you turn this thing up like this, they pop right out. But this is the answer. Stick it in there, slide it, lock it, bam! We got a cover, and it's $8. Awesome. So I was pretty happy to find that. Put my original one back on there. Get on there. So I have a link to that web page down below. If I find more on eBay, I'll put the auction numbers down there as well. It's really great, really nice quality, very stout. Even put the little notch in the very back right here for the battery eliminator that Coleco made for the cable to come out. Guy did an Absolute awesome job with this. Pretty impressed. But now to the pickups. First thing I picked up for my Atari 8-bit computer, my Atari 800, was Space Invaders. This Space Invaders on an 800 computer, quite a bit different. You don't have the bases you can hide behind like in the arcade. You basically are out in the open, and the invaders come out of this little rocket ship that gets lower and lower on the side of the screen. But other than that, the gameplay is there, and it's not too bad of a game. It's actually kind of fun. But I like the original Space Invaders theme where you have the bases you can hide behind, that kind of stuff. I'm not too thrilled about this little remake thing they did. Oh well. Next thing I picked up for my Atari 1700 system, I don't normally buy sports games, but this thing was only $1. I picked up, what is this? Hat Trick. It's a buck. It's right there, buck. It's a little hockey game, kind of like Pong, but you can control your little goalie on the end, on the side, and you control your player running around and stuff. It's actually not too bad of a game. It's kind of fun. I found myself enjoying it. This one is still sealed though. Even has the hangy tab. So the video you're watching back here, I'm playing it on the MES emulator with a USB controller. I don't want to open this. I know it's stupid. I should just go ahead and open it, but one of those things. I'll probably will open it eventually. And then the next thing I picked up for my Sega Saturn collections, I found Tempest 2000. Awesome. Oh, cool game. Only the bad part about this is someone took the frickin' color photo off the front of the game manual. Ugh. But oh well, the game's in perfect shape though. There's no scratches on the disc or anything. And just like its Atari Jaguar counterpart, it's a blast to play. The unfortunate thing is it doesn't make use of the 3D controller on the Sega Saturn, which I think would have been nice because you could have did this with the analog controller stick to move your guy around to follow it and stuff. That would have worked perfect. So that's the only downfall of it, but other than that, it's still a great game on the Sega Saturn. I still like playing it on the Jaguar though because of the rotary control option you can have. I actually made myself a custom rotary controller out of a Sega Genesis gamepad to play that game with, and it works like a charm. It's great. The next thing I picked up, this is nothing rare or anything like that. It's a Super Monaco GP for my Sega Genesis. This is the blue box version. The original one came in an all black box. This was like a re-release of it or something, I guess. But it's the same game, just a different type of box. It's a racing game, kind of like pole position a little bit. It's a lot of fun actually to play. You can usually find these really cheap. This one was $3. So I didn't have it in my collection, so I was pretty happy to get a hold of it. The next game I picked up for my Sega Genesis, been looking at this one for a while now. I have found loose carts of it, but I haven't found the actual game until now in the case. And that's Pitfall, the Mayan Adventure. Pitfall Harry is back in a new 16-bit adventure. Awesome. Now I love Pitfall and Atari 2600, so, and this doesn't disappoint. It's a lot of fun, updated graphics and stuff, different gameplay. You still have the same thing where you jump over pits and you climb up vines and you swing on vines. You got critters that try to hit you down below. You have different weapons though. You have like a boomerang you can throw, and got a whip, that kind of stuff. Pretty cool. Not a bad game at all. Pretty happy with it. And then the last thing I picked up this week, which I didn't have one of these back when they first came out, when the Atari 2600 was in full force, is I found a Tron joystick. Awesome! Has like the little M Network symbol right here, right there. Tron M Network. Nice little red fire button. Thing works really well. It's got a retractable cord, suction cups to stick to the top of your table, And it works really well. I use this to play Tron Deadly Discs on my Atari 2600. Worked great. Also use this to play the new Light Cycle game coming out on the ColecoVision by Park Fun Games. So it's kind of like playing the arcade version of Light Cycles. Awesome. I remember seeing these. I think that they were in a box and they came with a Tron game, if I remember right. But I remember seeing these at one time. I just never got one. I don't know why. Because I'm a big Tron fan. So I'm pretty happy to have this. This is really neat looking color plastic too. It'd be awesome if this thing lit up. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, I'm rambling. That's pretty much all the pickups for this week. So until next time, keep on gaming.